Good evening, I am Teddy Mpanyanga. You can also follow us live via YouTube channel TBC Online and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and X pages at TBC Online. The President Samia Suluhu Hassan has appointed Majaba Shabani Magana as the new Commissioner of the Financial Intelligence Unit FIU, replacing Fatima Ayub Mwenyimvua. Prior to the appointment, Magana was the Senior Client Services Manager, Bank of Tanzania, according to the statement released by the Chief Secretary Ambassador, Dr. Moses Kusiluka. President Samia Suluhu Hassan has also appointed Ambassador Celestine Gervas Kakele to become the new Ambassador of Tanzania to Nigeria. Ambassador Kakele replaces Ambassador Dr. Benson Alfred Bana, who has retired. The World Bank Regional Director Infrastructure in the Eastern and Southern African region, AFE, Dr. Wendy E. Hughes, says the World Bank is highly impressed with the great step achieved by the Tanzanian government in executing the SGR Modern Railway Strategic Project, vowing to continue to support its further construction. Here are more details.
The World Bank Regional Director has expressed the applause in Dar es Salaam when he met and held talks with three sectoral ministers led by the Tanzanian Minister of Finance, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, Minister of Transport, Professor Makame Mbarawa, and the Minister of Works, Dr. Abdullah Ulega, stating that he himself has travelled using the standard gauge railway from Dar es Salaam to Dodoma and was impressed with its standards.
He committed to support. The discussion, I think, is what, with the resources we can bring to the table, which are relatively small compared to the $10 billion budget. If we put our money just as a little piece of railway line, I honestly don't think that it will give you the best value for what our money can do. If we use our money to help you fill in the gaps, make the connections, and be ready that as the infrastructure starts to be running, that you are immediately getting the most value from it.
It's one of our proudest achievements, not just in Tanzania, but going beyond Tanzania. And so we want to make sure that it realizes its full potential. And so we wanted to have a discussion on that. The second, of course, is we realized how important the SGR is. And the minister has been raising this for the last couple of years. Our presidents just spoke on the sidelines of the G20 in Brazil.
The Minister of Finance, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, and the Minister of Transport, Professor Makame Mbarawa, say the SGR project, which costs more than 10 trillion Tanzanian shillings, is key in strengthening trade and transportation of passengers and cargo, not only for Tanzania, but also all Great Lakes region countries.
The SGR development is a key transformative initiative for our nation. And seriously, we need to make this project as an example in Africa. And it's a regional one. It will connect and transform lives of a good number of people in the region.
This SGR project is not for Tanzania only. It's going to connect to Burundi, it's going to connect to DRC and all neighboring countries. So the support of World Bank, it is very, very important.
The meeting, which involved the heads of institutions in the transport and construction sector, had three agendas, including the construction of the Dar es Salaam Bus Rapid Transit BRT, the standard gauge railway project, and how to strengthen cooperation in implementing projects between the public sector and private sector.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Ambassador Mahmoud Thabit Kombo, has said that the government will continue to compete for various opportunities that arise in international institutions for the broad interest of Tanzania and to strengthen economic diplomacy, insisting that Tanzania has a responsibility to create a competitive environment. Here's a report by Fortunate Shen, read by Faivangaga.
Since gaining independence, Tanzania has identified itself as a non-aligned country. The policy, which has played a key role in contributing to Tanzania being given the countless responsibilities to lead various global institutions. The ever-changing Tanzanian foreign policy and the competence expressed by Tanzanian top leaders in every phase has made Tanzania claim its dominance in the world of diplomacy. Here, at the 27th graduation of the Dr. Salim Ahmed Salim Center for Foreign Relations, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Ambassador Mahmoud Thabit Kombo, says Tanzania plans to continue to position itself better internationally.
Serikali ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania itaendelea kuongeza jitihada.
The government of the United Republic of Tanzania will continue to increase efforts in competing for various opportunities in the world.
Furthermore, the Minister of Foreign Affairs expresses how imperative research is in diplomacy.
Tunahitaji tafiti zaidi katika kila eneo.
We need more knowledge in security issues and all diplomatic issues.
Some of the political leaders who are here expressed their views on the Tanzanian diplomacy.
Diplomasia ni ushawishi. Ushawishi kwa ajili ya kutetea maslahi ya nchi yako.
Diplomacy is influence in defending the issues of your country, and by doing so, it will help you to have many positions internationally.
This year's graduation witnesses 893 students graduating in various levels.
The new United Nations resident coordinator in Tanzania, Susan Ngongi Namondo, commends the Tanzanian government for its ambitious clean cooking agenda, which aims to ensure that 80% of Tanzanians use clean cooking solutions by the year 2034, emphasizing on the United Nations support to Tanzania through policy development and its collaborative Cook Fund project with the European Union. Here's the United Nations resident coordinator in Tanzania, Susan Namondo, talking to my colleague, Caroline Maleo.
Tanzania targets to attain or to achieve clean cooking at least by 80% in 2030, by 2030. And the country actually has launched the national strategy on clean cooking earlier this year in May, actually. So what is the role of the United Nations in supporting the government? As we know, recently our president, Samia Suluhu Hassan, asked for different stakeholders to join hands to support the government. How is the United Nations supporting the government of Tanzania and its people to achieve clean energy?
I think first and foremost really is to thank Her Excellency the President for the emphasis she's really placed on clean cooking. If Tanzania manages to move down the path that it has set for itself, it really would help in so many ways. It would help health-wise, but most importantly, it really would help in terms of cushioning this climate crisis that many countries are now experiencing. In terms of the role of the United Nations, I think we've been engaged in the policy development front, working with the government there in terms of the policies, but also in terms of programs. So one of the key programs that we've been supporting through the financial support of the European Union is the Cook Fund project. And there are several UN agencies are participating. For instance, UNIDO is working with the sugar industry to try and produce bioethanol to help replace charcoal that is used by many households. And really working along the value chain. So the production of the fuel itself, working with small and medium enterprises to produce the stoves, etc. But also UNCDF has been working in terms of providing gas to various households and cooking stoves. UN Women has been engaged in terms of also providing some stoves, etc. But my understanding is there's still so much more that needs to be done. I think 90-something% of the population of Dar es Salaam is still using charcoal. So while we all should do more in terms of these alternatives, for people not to use charcoal, you need to make sure that there are alternatives, so that if we make sure that there are better alternatives, really supporting the entrepreneurs and the value chains that are needed to introduce this. There might be need also to complement this with sort of forestry policies in forestry to make sure that we can retain the forest cover. Coming up with innovations like tracking when the charcoal, ensure that if a tree is cut to produce charcoal, we can replace that tree, because the forest cover is critical, absolutely critical, if we're going to better manage the climate crisis. And the United Republic of Tanzania is particularly vulnerable right now. I think it's the fastest, the fourth fastest, not the fastest, but one of the fastest, I think fourth on the African continent, is losing its forest cover. So imperative to act even more decisively. But we salute the President for her initiative on this.
Director General of the Tanzania Tourist Board, Ephraim Mafuru, says Tanzania continues to experience an increased number of tourists from East Africa Community member states, asserting the need for a more strategic, collective and coordinated approach to the promotion and marketing of quality tourism into and within the community. He made the remarks in Arusha, insisting on the need to liberalize airspace to promote tourism in East Africa and the calculative culmination to the monetary union and single tourist visa processes.
Of East African Community, and now 25 years, has proved to be more beneficial to most of the aspects. And we see more value now for the conversations that are happening. And from the tourism point of view, we see working together, collaborating has value, and especially when it comes to investments and accessibility of our destination. Maybe we can open up our skies, we can enter into agreements with international airlines so that they can fly into different destinations across the region. We need to attract more investment so that people can come and invest in different parts of our region, so that we can improve the number of hotel rooms, we can improve accessibility of our destination, and then we can regularize, the entry fees at some of the tourism attractions, so that our destination can be easily accessible to East Africans, but also to people from outside East Africa.
Furthermore, the TTB Director General calls on formulation of rules and regulations that will create seamless access to quality tourism products that Tanzania and the region can offer.
Currency, and another big aspiration is to have a single visa. However, as I said before, it must be decided at heads of state level before it comes to the institutional level for us to implement. We see there's potential. However, the right forums must make the right decisions so that we can implement what has been accepted by our leaders.
Marking 25 years since its revival in 1999, EAC has been putting in place various regional tourism campaigns aiming at increasing visitations to key tourist sites and consumption of tourism services by domestic and regional markets. Good neighborly relations between Tanzania and Burundi has been key in strengthening defense and security and stimulating economic growth between the two nations. Speaking during the 20th anniversary Good Neighborly Relations held in the Kigoma region, government leaders from neighboring regions of both countries say for 20 years, Good Neighborly Relations has been fruitful in reducing criminal acts, emphasizing the importance of strengthening cooperation. Here's a report by Grace Akech, read by Antonia Kivaria.
It is the 20th anniversary Good Neighborly relation between Tanzania and Burundi. The founders of Good Neighborly Ties says positive cooperation has been imperative in strengthening defense and security and promoting economic activities amongst the two countries.
In Burundi in 2004, when we just came from the war, there are many criminals, refugees, and weapons. We decided to sit down and have deep conversations. As a result, we started friendly relations. The aim was to strengthen the economic relations between our countries. Markets have been established at the border, and let us strengthen the security more so that the people can live in a peace and stability.
Kigoma Regional Commissioner Tobias Ndingenye and Makamba Regional Commissioner says for the 20 years of good neighborly ties has been effective in allowing citizens to excel in their economic activities.
These meetings are part of strengthening our relationship, security, our peace, the economy, politics, culture, and even social relations.
We collaborate in the exchange of security details between Burundi and Tanzania. When the robbers or criminals are caught, the items are returned. Therefore, our relations are going well.
The celebrations have been preceded by regional leaders meeting to discuss the successes and the challenges of the neighborly relation so as to set new strategies.
Tanga residents commend the government's step to install prepaid water meters, which have put an end to complaints associated with the post-paid billing method while ensuring reliable water supply. The Anga Urban Water Supply and Sanitation Authority, UWASA, says in the past 4 months, more than 1.8 billion shillings have been spent on installing 1,800 prepaid water meters. Here's a report by Ismail Buguda, read by Father Gaga.
It is a presidential directive to ensure that it eliminates complaints from customers, especially those which are related to overcharging of water bills.
Mwekeni mtu mita yake ya maji atumie alichokilipa.
Make sure you install water prepaid meters so that people use water as they pay for it, and not like before that we have to wait until the end of the month.
TBC News travels more than 15 kilometers from Tanga urban area to the Pongwe to one of the water kiosks where a prepaid water meter has been installed.
In the beginning, we used to pay water bills every end of the month, but this new method is quite affordable.
Ali is a milk trader in the Pongwe area. For him, the charges paid from the prepaid water meters are justifiable.
Getting water supply was a bit of a challenge, but now things are different and getting water on time is no longer a challenge.
In the past 4 months, the Water and Sanitation Authority, Tanga UWASA, has spent more than 1.8 billion to install more than 1,800 prepaid water meters.
Hadi sasa tumeshafunga mita 1,000.
So far, we have installed 1,889 meters, and we still continue installing others because in the first phase, we installed 500 meters, and in this phase, we have ordered 4,600 meters, which we still continue to install them to customers.
Once installed, prepaid meters are expected to address several challenges, including water losses, inflated bills, unpaid water bills, and complaints from citizens about the lack of involvement in the meter reading process.
The Director General of Tanzania Commission for Science and Technology, COSTECH, Dr. Amos Nungu, says there is a great need to integrate emerging digital technologies and innovations into the country's education systems so as to address some of the pressing challenges in the sector. Speaking to TBC News in Dar es Salaam, Dr. Nungu has also congratulated the EduTech Fellowship Program under the MasterCard Foundation and Sahara Consult that will support 36 selected EduTech entrepreneurs with critical business insights and financial support.
This is very crucial for our youth because they are given an opportunity to demonstrate their solutions, their creativity. So they have an opportunity to provide support, solutions to the community, but also it is useful to our students, the schools, because they are providing EduTech solutions which are relevant to the community. So it is beneficial to the government because, as partners, they are supporting the government to provide services to the
So today we are witnessing 10 of the 36 graduates we are looking to recruit for the next 3 years, presenting their solutions that are aiming at improving learning outcomes of students in primary and secondary school in Tanzania.
Kuza Youth, through its Kuza Female Mentorship Program, has been championing empowerment of youth entrepreneurs. Speaking to TBC News, Manager of Technology Management at Tanzania Commission for Science and Technology, Dr. Erastum Liuka, says the program has been critical in providing hands-on training, personalized mentorship, and collaborative learning, focusing on modern-day skills, while some of the young girls who have participated in the program vowing to apply for what they've learned.
We are going to support the Kuza Tech in different levels. Those who qualify directly from the judgment of judges, they are going to have mentorship support for a period of 6 months until when their project, we believe in 6 months, their project will be able to penetrate the market. And then the rest who are not qualified to go for the mentorship program phase 2, we are thinking of coming up with a possible initiative that will support them to refine much better their solution so that they can be visible to other supporters in the ecosystem.
After receiving training, I got the idea of making candles that help to prevent mosquitoes that spread malaria, where this candle is friendly to the environment. This is my innovation, and I believe it will help to reduce the effects of malaria along with raising the national economy as a whole. I have been able to design various things as soon as I got this program, where my scope of thinking has grown bigger. I believe my innovation will make life easier for the community because the products I designed are cheap with high quality.
In case you missed any of our stories, remember you can always go to our YouTube channel at TBC Online and watch anytime, anywhere across the globe. Before concluding the local news, let us take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. Here's international news as compiled and read by Lulua Mohammed.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has met and held talks with the president of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, to discuss the future of Syria. The talks held in the capital, Ankara, where both sides say they want a smooth political transition. The President Erdogan insists Turkey will take measures to secure its border. The United Nations has condemned the airstrikes carried out by Israel in Syria. The spokesperson for the Secretary General of the United Nations said those actions are a violation of territorial integrity and sovereignty. A report by the United Nations states that nearly 1.1 million people have fled their homes in Syria after the violence caused by the overthrow of the President Bashar al-Assad from power. The United Nations says that Israel's continued attack on Syria is making the situation worse. Millions of Syrians from different cities have gathered and performed the Friday prayer service at the large historic mosque in the heart of the capital, Damascus, since the overthrow of the regime of President Bashar al-Assad last Sunday. And a delegation from the European Parliament has visited Georgia and marched with pro-EU protesters with demonstrations against government's decision to suspend accession talks now in a second week. The 6 MPs also met with Georgia's pro-Western president, as well as representatives of the opposition, civil society groups, and the media. Police have reportedly resorted to more heavy-handed tactics in a bid to clamp down on the unrest, with more than 400 protesters, including opposition leaders and activists, detained and more than 100 people treated for injuries. The ruling Georgian Dream retained control of parliament in the disputed 26 October election, a vote widely seen as a referendum on Georgia's EU aspirations.
That was international news. Sports news up next. In sports news, Tanzania Sports Council TSC Chairperson Lodga Tenger urges Tanzania professional boxers to safeguard their professional values and avoid being drifted to unlawful acts which will play a key role in boosting their careers. Chairman Tenger adds that boxing game is growing in popularity very fast, hence the need for professionalism to the game, as boxers vowing to do everything possible to make the game grow.
And that's why I spoke about contract. There are contracts which are very clear. When you enter into a contract, it's also involved issues like a health insurance. Read those contracts careful. But let me repeat, have a lawyer you trust who will represent your interests and not their own. We train for a long time, and sometimes a fight comes up and you sign a contract without reviewing it. At the end of the day, the match gets postponed or sometimes get cancelled. This means you're ending up working for nothing. So when it comes to contracts, let's be very careful.
The Tanzania Sports Council is conducting an induction seminar to Tanzania Professional Boxing Regulatory Commission, TPBRC leaders, to give them a new approach to the game. Young Africans head coach Said Ramovic says they're determined to beat their opponent TP Mazembe in the CAF Champions League group stage third round match in Lubumbashi and revive their chances to excel in Continental Showdown. Head coach Ramovic believes that the game will be very tough, keeping in mind that TP Mazembe will be playing in their home ground, but they are ready to upset them as each team has equal chances to win the match.
We need to be strong. We need to be, as a team, very, very compact, and we need to face these challenges now. This is also our aim, to show that we have a great mentality.
Young Africans has lost 2 opening matches after losing to Al Hilal 2-0 and MC Alger by 2-0, keeping them at the bottom of Group A with 0 points. That is sports news, and now before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let us take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Good evening, dear viewers. I'm Desderi Moses from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Welcome to the next 24 hours weather forecast starting from 9 p.m. tonight. Windy patterns are showing light to moderate wind speed over the entire country, and weather models are showing the persistence of tropical cyclone Chido over the Indian Ocean, located over the northern part of Madagascar. And this tropical cyclone Chido is moving towards the coast of Mozambique. In the next 24 hours, tropical cyclone Chido is not expected to pose any significant impacts on the Indian coastal regions of the Tanzania. And Tanzania Meteorological Authority keeps on monitoring the movement and development of this tropical cyclone Chido. We advise you to stay informed by following our updates for the latest weather information. Tonight, dear viewers, partly cloudy condition, thunder storms over a few areas is expected over Lake Victoria Basin and the western part of our country, over southwestern highland regions, central part of our country, as well as over the northeastern highland regions. Rain showers is expected over these areas. The remaining part of our country is expected to be mainly dry. Tomorrow, Lake Victoria Basin regions, as well as over the western part of our country, particular condition, thunder showers over a few areas is expected over these areas. Over the southwestern highland regions, central part of our country, and northeastern highland regions, rain showers is expected over these areas. And this weather is also expected over the southern coast of the Indian Ocean at Lindi and Mtwara regions. And this remaining part of our country is expected to be mainly dry. Now let us have a look at the weather forecast for the next 4 days for some regions in our country. Light rain is expected over Dar es Salaam in the next 4 days, while for Dodoma region, rain showers together with periods of sun period is expected over Mbeya region. The lowest minimum temperature is expected to be 14 degrees Celsius. Over Mwanza region, thunder showers is expected to persist in the next 4 days, while over Kilimanjaro, sun periods together with rain showers are expected. Over Morogoro region, Light rain is expected to persist in the next 4 days, while over Arusha region, rain showers and sun periods are also expected. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, until next time, good night.
That marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Do not miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Teddy Mparanyanga. Have a lovely, lovely night.